Okay, to start with, toilet wine turns out is a misnomer. The toilet is mostly a hiding place, and God knows it is not really wine, right? And Sean Diddy Combs is not the first prison inmate to get busted with it.
Diddy, obviously just starting out his time, well, not just starting out, but starting out his official sentence since being sentenced not too long ago. And I think suffice to say, it's not going well so far.
But they wanted them to tell them the story of Puff with underage boys.
Things aren't playing out the way Diddy expected behind bars. Not long after telling a judge he had finally been sober for the first time in 25 years, reports now claim he was caught drinking homemade alcohol while in prison.
But TMZ is reporting that Diddy has been caught with the stuff, this week in fact. He did have a birthday on Tuesday and was going to be moved to a new unit apparently as punishment, but the officials changed their minds according to the report. But that still leaves the question of Diddy's alleged newfound sobriety, which he made such a big point of emphasizing when he was sentenced, and whether this will have any impact on that sentence.
Just a few weeks ago, Diddy sent a detailed apology letter to Judge Arun Subramanian. In it, he claimed he had been sober for the first time in 25 years and said he was ready to change his life. He asked for leniency before sentencing, promising to do better and focus on personal growth. But new reports suggest that may not have been entirely true. Sources inside the system say Diddy recently got into trouble with prison staff at Fort Dix in New Jersey, where he is serving a 4-year sentence on prostitution-related charges. According to those reports, he was caught drinking homemade alcohol, often called toilet wine. Former federal inmate Gene Burrell also spoke out, explaining how someone in Diddy's position could have managed to make or get access to that kind of alcohol while behind bars.
Let's get back to making it. I know you gave me the ingredients.
Right.
I want you to tell me how you put them together and the burping, which is interesting. But before you do that, how is the toilet involved? Because in my mind, whenever I heard toilet wine, I imagine an inmate stirring, the hooch in the toilet bowl, but that's not it.
Right.
So explain what actually happens.
Well, they usually get a big garbage bag, like a big clear bag. I've seen it done in a garbage bag, and they'll put it in the toilet and then let it sit in there. You know what I mean? They won't actually put it in the toilet bowl. You get what I'm saying? With the water. You know what I mean, right? You're not actually stirring it in the toilet bowl.
In the tank, yeah. So it's in a bag and it's hidden in the toilet tank, not in the toilet bowl.
Not in the toilet bowl.
And that's just.
It takes a while to make.
Good distinction.
It takes a while to make. It's not just an overnight thing. This takes days to make it. And remember, it smells really bad, so you have to have a good hiding spot. It's very strong.
Oh, it does smell. Okay, so that's the other thing. So the toilet tank is what you're hiding it from the view of the guards, not necessarily the temperature of the toilet tank is, optimal for the fermentation of the lovely hooch, But so they put it in the toilet tank, and then how does the toilet tank fill up with water to flush? You pull it out, do your business, and flush, and then put it back in?
Yes.
The big question now is, what kind of consequences could Diddy face after all this? The short answer, nothing looks promising for him.
Basically, it's different ways to make it. You can make it with orange peels, you can make it with sugar, it's all different ways. But what a lot of people don't know, and why it is serious in prison, it can blow up. So if you don't know what you're doing and you don't let it breathe, as they say, it could actually be like a bomb. So it actually can blow up and everything will spray everywhere. But it can get you drunk, and it could also land you in the hole. So, I mean, I don't know as far as them saying he's going to move him out of the unit. I know it's a very serious ticket. I know he could lose his phone, he could lose commissary, and he could lose visits. And also maybe go to the SHU for up to 30 days or maybe more.
So, I mean, that's all serious stuff. I keep wondering about the sentence. Do you not think it's possible, especially since he campaigned, in his sentencing, that he was getting sober, he'd been working, on a sobriety at the MDC, and now he's at Fort Dix, and if this is true, if the report's true, might they say, well, screw it, you're not getting your 15% off your federal sentence?
Right, so it don't work like that, but every ticket in the feds, if it's a certain degree ticket, you will lose some good time.
When prison officials were questioned, they said they didn't have any details. Meanwhile, Diddy's team urged people not to rush to judgment. A representative told Page 6 that Mr. Combs is in his first week at FCI Fort Dix and is focused on settling in, improving himself, and taking things one day at a time. However, Gene Burrell sees it differently. He believes Diddy isn't really focused on self-improvement. Instead, he suggests Diddy may have been trying to turn the situation into a business opportunity, which he says is something that often happens in prison.
Like I said, these people that usually do make it, are very good at it, and they actually charge to make it. So in prison, in federal prison, everything's a business. So he probably paid somebody to actually hold that in their cell and make it for his birthday. I guess it was his birthday that came up, and they will make this alcohol beverage for you. But what's confusing to me is that when you're in the feds, usually there's a crooked CO that'll just bring you in an actual bottle of vodka. So I don't know why they even made it.
Serious?
Yes.
This is a very different image from the Diddy people once knew, the flashy music star known for his all-white parties and non-stop nightlife. Today, he looks nothing like that. He's been seen wearing a gray beanie, a heavy blue prison coat, and a rough beard that makes him appear much older. Recent photos from the yard at Fort Dix show him chatting and smiling with other inmates. But it's a stark contrast to the man who once dominated the music charts and walked red carpets. Before starting his sentence, Diddy wrote a letter of apology where he admitted prison had forced him to confront himself. He said, "I completely lost control," and added that he deeply regrets his actions. He blamed his past behavior on alcohol and drug use, explaining that he had lost direction and that his downfall came from being selfish. He described himself as feeling humbled and broken. He also shared that he believes prison has changed him, saying the person he used to be is gone and that he wants to live a better life moving forward. His legal team had asked for him to be placed in Fort Dix because it's considered a low-security facility. But even there, things haven't been easy. Reports claim that just weeks ago, he was attacked and woke up with a knife held to his throat.
Diddy, obviously just starting out his time, well, not just starting out, but starting out his official sentence since being sentenced not too long ago. And I think suffice to say, it's not going well so far.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, he's got 4 years and change that he's going to ultimately have to serve, although he has served already a year as he awaited his trial and then went through his trial. So ultimately probably he was going to serve about 2.5 years or so, but it's still serious. And Diddy claimed that somebody held a knife to his throat. He woke up and this guy basically had him and he had the knife, and Diddy was at this person's mercy. Now, it's unclear what exactly happened from there. Was there a guard that came in? Did Diddy somehow fight this person off? Well, seems unlikely that happened. Or did the person just leave? Bottom line, this guy, at least according to people close to Diddy and Diddy himself, could have hurt him badly or even taken his life. And I think that was something they wanted known during the hearing because they wanted the judge to take some pity on Diddy.
At the time, news outlets didn't share any clear details about what happened. But later, a former inmate named Raymond Castillo came forward, saying he knows what really happened to Diddy and what led to the attack.
It's very dangerous in there. It's very, very, very dangerous. I'm one of the lucky ones to say I made it out, because in there, you could go in. I've seen brothers go in there and really lose their lives. Especially while Mr. Combs was in there, 2 people has lost their lives.
Right. I do remember reading.
Due to gang violence.
Yeah. Did he have a CO that was kind of near him? More than others, or not really?
Nah, he's a regular inmate just like everybody else.
Wow.
They might watch him. They might watch him just a little more at times, but he's just a regular inmate just like us. He's going through everything we're going through: the cold trays, the lockdowns, the police on the monitor us with the segregations. He is living what we're living. There was no special treatment for Sean Diddy Combs. There's no favoritism for him in there at all.
Can you talk to me about the incident when he woke up to a knife to his neck? That's false. Oh. He
didn't wake up with no knife to his neck. The incident, I recall the incident because I'm the one that intervened when the incident was going on. He was watching TV actually when this happened. He was watching Basketball Wives, and this West Coast gang member that was serving 30 years walked up to him and was really trying to take a chair from him that Diddy was already sitting on. The incident happened over a chair that nobody owns, that the facility owns. So he was trying to take this chair from Diddy. So Diddy, and mind you, Diddy wasn't scared. Diddy didn't flinch. He just stared the guy down and was asking the guy, "Your homeboy, why you coming at me like that about a chair that don't belong to none of us? You see I'm watching TV?" And the guy got hostile. I don't know if he was trying to look for some clout or he was having a bad day. He got hostile with Diddy, but this is where I've seen Diddy's actual change. When the guy was getting hostile, Diddy tried to spread love to the guy and talk some positivity to the guy. And the guy wasn't trying to take heed of it. The guy went and got a knife. So when he went and got the knife and tried to back the knife out, I intervened and grabbed the guy's hand. I got in between them, grabbed the guy's hand to prevent them from trying to stab Diddy.
Raymond later explained that Diddy stepped in to calm things down and was actually able to prevent a fight. He said the real situation was very different from what the media was reporting at the time.
Diddy just got up and tried to speak to the guy and told the guy, like, yo, homeboy, are you all right? He even told the guy, you might need a prayer or something. And actually tried to pray with the guy and everything. Like, the way I seen Diddy handle that altercation, I've never seen nobody handle it like that before.
He offered to pray with him.
It's a situation that could have actually went left. It could have went bad. But thankfully, nothing happened, and everybody stayed safe. Even when the police rushed the unit because they seen on the camera, Diddy tried to speak up for the guy. For his supposed attacker, Diddy tried to speak up for this guy to keep him on the unit.
Did he really offer to pray with him after the guy pulled a knife on him?
He told the guy, I think you need to find God, homeboy.
Oh, wow. And what did he say, the West Coast gang member?
Well, the guy was just saying he has 30 years. He's doing 30 years. He has nothing to lose.
Oh,
I will make sure you never make it home.
And not to be, I guess, naive, but when you say he just goes to get a knife, like, where do you just go to get a knife? I mean, did he have it hiding on like a homemade shank under a table or something? Or like, where do you?
They usually have that in stash spot, jail-made stash spots. So he went to wherever he was hiding it at. And then he came back with his knife.
Wow. I mean, do you know if, you say stash spots, do you know if Diddy was ever offered any drugs in prison or anything jail, anything like that? And he was no.
Diddy did involve himself with no negativity.
Wow. That's crazy. That story got totally twisted in the media. I mean, and I know this was months ago, but that got completely twisted. It was reported that a guard or a CO actually broke it up, that fight, but it was you.
Yes.
There are claims circulating that Diddy has already faced trouble in prison, with some people suggesting he could be a target because of the alleged information he may know about influential figures. Some even argue without proof that he has connections similar to the Epstein case involving powerful agencies like the CIA. An ex-mobster has also made the serious claim that he could be seen as too dangerous to keep alive, though these are only allegations and not confirmed facts.
So are you saying too, let me stop you here, that Epstein made a lot of his money through blackmailing wealthy people?
He did, but he was protected because Jeffrey Epstein by himself couldn't blackmail someone like Les Wexner, who has connections to the Genovese crime family. Who's ever the blackmail mark has to know, if you touch Jeffrey Epstein, there's going to be retribution. The only way that Jeffrey Epstein could blackmail some of the most powerful people, not only in the country, but in the world.
I didn't think that far into this, that he could have been, a CIA operative, if you want to call him that, being used by the CIA to blackmail politicians and powerful people. Some as young as 10 years old. 10 years old. Those were allegations in the Epstein and the Diddy case. And people are covering it up. And they're complicit in it. And the media keeps their mouths shut. They'd rather go after Trump for some BS thing that happened in a hotel room in 2006. A payoff to an alleged that Trump denies. There's no real evidence to show that. In the Diddy case, there's evidence. There's videos. He blackmailed people. So did Epstein. Where are these files? Where are the videos? Why are we not seeing them? We want to know who's involved in this. Because those videos will show who visited the Epstein mansion and who visited Diddy's freak-offs.
Where does all of this actually lead? Some people are asking who could be affected if alleged Epstein-related files or footage involving Diddy were ever made public. It raises bigger questions for them about whether the people in power can truly be trusted. There are also claims, without confirmed evidence, that certain groups may be trying to keep information from coming out. Some rumors even suggest that Tupac's case could be revisited following the recent Keefe D trial, with speculation that this might somehow relate to keeping Diddy quiet. Adding to the attention, Tupac's brother has recently done online interviews where he shares his belief that Diddy may have been connected in some way to his brother's death.
I do want to kind of get maybe a thought around this thing that's happening with Puff. He is behind bars. How do you does that give you any closure, or what does that do for you, just to see that? Because I can imagine it could be very conflicting.
Yeah, because I don't champion putting young black men in jail.
Right.
Jail, period. That ain't but there's questions that need to be answered. And with this arrest of Keefe D brought more questions. You know what I mean? And and there was some answers with that. So it has to be looked at.
When you go back to 1996, 95, or more so just like in those 90 eras when things were really, really tough between the East Coast, the West Coast, one tribe versus another tribe, are you surprised to know that this is where Diddy's life has ended up at the moment?
Am I surprised at that?
Are you surprised that he's currently sitting in a prison?
No.
So what does all of this actually suggest? Some believe Diddy is under heavy pressure from federal investigators, especially after raids on his properties reportedly uncovered large amounts of video material. Because of that, there are claims that authorities are closely controlling the situation. At the same time, others point to his reported prison sentence of around 50 months and argue it feels unusually light compared to the scale of the allegations. This has led to speculation that the whole situation may be less about strict punishment and more about publicly exposing and humiliating him.
Politicians that was pandered to was the Attorney General, Richard Thornburg. So it went all the way up the food chain, and it had to be covered up at all costs. With Epstein, we're seeing the exact same thing. And also with Diddy, that Epstein was protected. Damian Williams did the damage control on the Epstein-Maxwell case, is making sure that the witnesses that were called to testify against Maxwell didn't have knowledge of any of the other abominations that were going on. And then he oversaw the Diddy grand jury. And the thing with Diddy is he was starting to get too much press also, because there were a number of, last March, there were 8 lawsuits that were filed against him. Now there's many, many more. But Diddy is indicted. Well, he's got 3 indictments, but one of them is a racketeering indictment, and he's the only one indicted. Diddy was also had hidden cameras, and there were hidden cameras in all of his homes. And what kind of struck me as perplexing is usually the FBI served search warrants for human trafficking. It was Homeland Security that served the search warrant on Diddy. And the search warrants were served in Los Angeles and also Miami, but they emanated from the Southern District. So Damian Williams had his paws on the search warrant, just make sure that that they did damage control. And Damian Williams is really, really dirty in all of this, and he resigned from being a U.S. attorney about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I started making a lot of noise about him. I don't know if I had anything to do with his resigning, but on some of the bigger podcasts I've been on, I've pointed him out that he's really been very, very dirty. Anybody who covers up child trafficking, and at this point, there's probably, I think, with Busby's cases, there's probably 20 minors involved. There were, in the first 8 cases, 2 of them were minors.
With his reputation heavily damaged and his public image and business interests in ruins, Diddy is no longer able to return to the life he once had. Reports also suggest that federal authorities may still have additional evidence that could be used in the future if needed. For now, however, there is speculation that he could still play a role in ongoing developments, especially as former President Donald Trump has reportedly said he is considering the possibility of a pardon for Diddy.
Diddy is telling other inmates at Fort Dix, the prison where he is now serving his sentence, telling them that he is going to be pardoned by Donald Trump early next year. We know this based on sources who are at Fort Dix, and he is telling people that, and we can't say how we know, but on the outside we have confirmed that's true, that he is telling people that. So this is a real thing.
So this is not just him trying to buddy up to people in the yard. He's saying this based on information that he is getting.
Yep.
That it's still on the table.
So we told you that literally the day after he was sentenced, somebody from his legal team contacted somebody who has President Trump's ear, somebody in the White House, asking for a pardon. The next day, Donald Trump was informed about this, and then a day or two later, he told the news media that. We then posted a story that Trump was vacillating on whether to do it or not. There were people in the White House who were urging him not to, but as one of the White House sources told us, he's going to do what he wants to do. And now it looks like when you connect the dots, it sounds like this is a real thing. I mean, if I had to bet money at this point, my bet is Donald Trump's going to pardon
And if you're Diddy and you're at Fort Dix, you don't go around saying that unless you have some reason, because it's just you're gonna look stupid, right? You're gonna be there for 2 years. You're you're just meeting these inmates. They probably think you're full of it anyway, right? So you won't say it unless you have actual information.
Yeah, am I sure? Just a few days ago, media reports said that Diddy may have scored a small but important win in court that could help his case move faster. A federal judge agreed to speed up the handling of his appeal, which could play a role in how soon he gets out of prison if things go his way. This decision came shortly after Diddy was transferred to a federal prison in New Jersey, where he has started serving his 50-month sentence. The approval was issued by U.S. Circuit Court Judge Beth Robinson in a very brief, 2-paragraph order. Diddy's legal team is now hoping this fast-tracked appeal process could work in his favor and potentially reduce the amount of time he ultimately spends behind bars if the appeal succeeds.
Maybe he's got a plan. Well, he's always got a plan.
Based on everything we know, my money is on Diddy will be a free man by March.
What's interesting,
and honestly, based on a phone call that I made a few minutes ago, maybe much sooner.
Hey, it's Marie from Bellingham, Washington. I don't think anybody should count their chickens before they're hatched. You know, it's rather unfortunate, but President Trump seems to flip-flop back and forth depending on which way the wind is blowing. So I think Diddy better just hang on.
Yeah,
that is also true. I mean, like, if you're Diddy, like, yes, you can be confident.
But here's the difference. Here's the difference. You're right that the wind can blow both ways, but Donald Trump is kind of an impulsive guy. When it blows Diddy's way, he may pull the trigger and then just act. Right. And that's what I think is going to happen here.
According to the judge, the legal team for Sean Combs has until December 23rd to submit their main written argument explaining why they believe the conviction should be overturned. After that, the government will have until February 20th to file its response. Diddy's lawyers will then get a final opportunity to reply by March 13th. If the timeline stays on track, the case could move to oral arguments as early as April. That's when both sides will appear before the judges and present their arguments directly. At the same time, these court decisions and what some see as unusual allowances have fueled more speculation, especially alongside rumors about a possible pardon from Donald Trump. Some observers believe this could point to a behind-the-scenes understanding between Diddy and the government, a theory that has circulated for some time. This idea was also recently mentioned by Gone Deal on the Valuetainment podcast, adding more fuel to the ongoing discussion and speculation around the case.
Do you think Diddy was an FBI informant? Do you think the feds had him?
I think that they knew about him a long time ago, and there's certain situations that came out, like this guy, paperwork, found some information where Puff was seeing a federal agent in D.C. And it popped up. He had an appointment with a federal agent in D.C.
What year?
And I think 91. Somewhere when he was
that early.
That early. I don't know why or what was the situation. It came out.
Wow. Diddy seen with a federal agent in 91. That's way before he becomes somebody.
Yeah, but you got to realize he was doing a lot of parties. He was doing a lot of things in D.C. And I think it was possibly because there was an incident when some people died.
Got it. Similar to the other one with the 9 kids.
So yeah,
got it.
Similar to that. But you got to realize this: at somebody, a certain person, and I'm not going to speak his name because I said I wasn't going to speak their name. They was offered a proffer agreement in 2011, but they wanted them to tell them the story of Puff with underage boys at their proffer agreement in 2011, brother.
What he did, and
yeah,
the fact that he made all his money by having a lot of accused of having blackmail of, men, powerful men, having sex with younger women on his island, on the Epstein Island, and then using those tapes to come back up. You've heard that before. Would you speculate and say that Diddy is the music mogul version of what Epstein did in the financial industry with politics?
I would say that might be a possibility.
Okay, but not based on things that you've seen and, you've heard from people that you personally know.
No.
Okay.
I couldn't say that.
Got it. Interesting. Why else do you think they would raid his Miami and LA home? When that happened, what did you see? When you saw they're like, why are they doing this?
Well, I think it's probably to more so either protect the people that he do have information on, or because of what he did and he riled up some people in the business, and they trying to show them how powerful they really are.
His official release date is currently set for May 8th, 2028. However, he may be released earlier if he earns good behavior credits or successfully completes approved prison programs. So far, he has already served 14 months since his arrest in September 2024. With his new appeal in motion, his legal team is hoping the timeline could move forward even faster. For now, former mob figure Michael Franzese believes that Diddy will likely adapt to prison life without too much difficulty.
Because of the fact that he's a money guy, I think he's going to have more friends than he will enemies. And in a medium security, normally nobody's looking to shank you. When you get into the higher institutions, when people are doing, a ton of time and there's no way you can benefit them, then you got a little more problem. But in a medium security, I don't think he'll have an issue at all. I really don't. He can be too much of a benefit to inmates that are always looking for something, and he could be a golden ticket for some people, at least in their mind.
Do you think he might end up getting out of prison earlier than expected? Or do you feel the sentence should have been longer? Share your thoughts in the comments.